Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we have Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction on the chopping block. So there are a few things that I feel are very pertinent to this video, and we really have to run through them fast so that those of you who don't want to sit back and relax and listen to me yap, you can pretty much get the info that you need and dip out. So what's so special about Rainbow Six Extraction? Well, it appears Ubisoft has done the unthinkable and they've pretty much added a few systems to this game. Basically a huge benefit package that benefits those who buy the game. First of all is a buddy pass system, which pretty much allows for you to be able to invite two of your friends from any platform to join your team and basically play with you. And they can actually play for 14 days, even if they don't own the game, but they can only play alongside you. Secondly, on top of all of this, they've basically adjusted the price. The standard edition of the game is now $39.99 and the deluxe edition is now $49.99. And it also has some bonus packs as well. And keep in mind, on top of all of these, those who are Rainbow Six Siege players get an additional benefit to all of this. Now, for the very long period of all of these discussions, a lot of the community of gamers have held Ubisoft in a negative light. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and sit down and say my position towards many gaming companies is kind of friendly because I don't really necessarily want to be throwing out negative vibes around all of the place. Like, if somebody makes a video game, in my eyes, I think it's a huge accomplishment. I know people are nitpicky, they want all these wonderful systems, but I've started dabbling in game development, so my own perceptions are ruined. I don't share the perceptions of every gamer like I used to. In fact, right now, if somebody writes something and says, oh, I wish they developed this system, I usually just sit back and say, whoa, that's a huge package, but that's also because of my own limitations in developing a game. But here's something that's quite interesting. Not a lot of people are talking about this. I'm recording this video in the evening of November 15th, and they actually had this going around November 11th. But it seems like no one wants to say anything. I don't know why, but whatever. It's probably their own choice, whatever it is that they cover on their channels or on their news article websites. And something really very crucial is the fact that the comment section, there are only 156 comments over here, and it seems 156 of them, or most of them, everyone is saying that this is actually a good move from Ubisoft. One of them really stands out. They screwed up, they listened, they learned. Now, you might get somebody that disagrees or whatever, that doesn't agree with these comments, but I would recommend that you actually take a look at them to see exactly how the community basically perceives this move by Ubisoft. Now, here's the thing. I'm not naive to think that, oh, everything is fine and beautiful and dandy. Just because I'm the guy who throws down positive vibes about video games doesn't mean I'm an idiot. Doesn't mean I'm an idiot every time. I agree. I concede I could be an idiot sometimes. But this time, though, I'm not going to basically give you that one for free. So here's what I think. I think right now they find out that they're in a really competitive market. You see, when all of the medical issues last year hit everybody, we were kind of all in a position where, many games weren't really out there and everybody had just pretty much sat back to kind of figure out exactly where it is that they are in terms of when they're going to release their games, how they're going to go ahead and push back their games and all of the above. But now it seems like now that all of the restrictions in different countries and different regions are being lifted, developers are going back to work. A lot of where they stopped, they've picked up from, and some games are going to get their delivery dates very soon, especially in 2022. Just look at the January lineup alone. Even though it may not seem like something that's a heavy hitter, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is going to pretty much have its own audience basically choose if they want to jump into Rainbow Six Extraction. And if there is no answer for them, then games like God of War, which has been an exclusive on PlayStation, will probably catch their eye. And that game the way it was priced was less than the original price for Extraction. So Extraction pretty much was receiving a lot of market forces. I believe Ubisoft is doing this to set themselves and position themselves in the market properly. This is for their benefit, perhaps for the benefit of the consumers, but I don't see them doing it just for the benefit of their consumers without their own benefit, number one. Number two, they understand as well that their Tom Clancy player base right now needs a lot of petting and pampering. Look at everything that they're doing. They're laying down the groundwork. They're bringing out console testing for Division Heartland. Now, for those of you who know, the Division game has always been somewhat favorable to the PC platform. To bring out a testing for console, which is basically what we've heard going on right now, has been basically a huge pivotal move for Ubisoft. They really want to get people into this ecosystem. And then the new friend pass, which basically has now been announced with Rainbow Six Extraction, is something that's also been in other games, but the way they emphasized it with Ghost Recon Breakpoint and the way they're emphasizing it now with a brand new game for up to 2 weeks of playtime, in my opinion, is some really interesting move. And before you know what's happening, this Rainbow Six Extraction game is probably going to get a much more realistic price point, in my opinion. But again, it's a move that the community of gamers can rally around and at least appreciate. So this is one of those places where we say you give credit to where credit is due, and if they mess up, you basically call them out for it. Initially, I thought this game was basically directed at a whole different audience. That's an audience that enjoys PvE and not even the Siege community. But apparently, they really wanted the Siege community to come ahead and play this other game and kind of experience it differently. And so what they've done is they've listened to that community. I hope that they continue to listen to their other communities as they go along. Many people who play these Tom Clancy games are not the regular gamer that's playing a lot of the mainstream games. It is a careful choice for people to pick out a Tom Clancy game of their choice or of their own preference to play. Many people who play Ghost Recon and people who play The Division usually don't even share the similarity of, say, the game styles. Even though they may be Tom Clancy games, many people will look at the other games and say, I don't know what's going on here. Many people who play Siege don't play the other games. For me as a Division player, and even now partially a Ghost Recon player, I mean, like, if you can call me whatever you want, a noob at Ghost Recon, I'm not necessarily interested in playing Rainbow Six Siege. But a game like Rainbow Six Extraction that has the elements that are like PvE, where I can work cooperatively with other people in my own squad and in my community, now that is exactly what I want to do, because I'm already someone who's accustomed to the community side of achieving all kinds of different goals and doing that in a context of missions, raids and defeating enemies, which is a Division thing, from the past few years. So I think Ubisoft right now is making some really business strategic moves that are more than likely going to be there to say, okay, when they eventually jump into their live service stuff, and be sure that you're going to see Ghost Recon Frontline. For those who may think, they're probably going to move Ghost Recon Frontline and whatnot, it's going to come back. And even the talk of their new Far Cry games as a live service game or whatever it is, I think they're doing all of this to be able to say, okay, everyone in their own little community, let's see if we can appeal to them. Now, for most of people in the Far Cry or who've adopted the new Far Cry games, I think it's not going to be too much of a change for them to go into a live service version if they wanted to. I think the old school Far Cry community has already condemned everything Far Cry 6 anyways, and most of Far Cry 5. So I don't think Ubisoft is trying to appeal to them anyways. I think they may have found the fact that there's still a lot more people who enjoy Far Cry and they want to experiment on that front. We'll see though. When they make the announcement, the Far Cry community will basically give their own opinions. But for now, the Tom Clancy community seems to have caught the attention of Ubisoft, and I hope that we keep that attention for the time being. So I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this. Do you think this is a smart move? I think it is. I think it's a move that, to be very honest, they should have made a very long time ago. I think this is a move that, if you were to put it in perspective, every single thing about this particular franchise and about this particular game should have come, in my opinion, as basically an extension or an expansion of some sort. And then they should have just made Siege kind of a free-to-play launchpad into all of that. But no one asked my own opinion on how they should make their own corporate decisions. But I'll talk to you guys in another video. Like I said, let me know in the comment section, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Peace out.